All right, let's get right into it. In this explainer, we're going to unlock the grammar you need to talk about two really key things. All those what-ifs, and of course, the what happens. Honestly, mastering this is going to let you tell stories with so much more precision, color, and imagination. So, let's get started.
So let's just dive in with a question. What if you could master all this tricky stuff? Like, right now? See what I did there? That very question is a perfect example of the kind of grammar we're about to unlock. The language of possibilities.
Okay, our first tool is something I like to call the possibility engine. Yeah, we're talking about conditionals. But hey, don't think of them as some boring, dry rules from a textbook. Think of them as a way to explore totally different realities. You know, from the stuff that's super likely to things that are purely imaginary. To make this super simple, we're going to use a traffic light metaphor. It's easy, right? Green means go. It's a real possibility. Yellow means slow down. We're getting into hypothetical territory. And red means stop. It's in the past, and you just can't change it. Let's break that down.
First up, we've got the green light, the first conditional. This is all about real, totally possible future events. It's the language you use for planning and making practical decisions. So, if it rains tomorrow, hey, that's a real possibility. We will cancel the picnic. Simple, direct, and very likely to happen.
Next up, the yellow light, the second conditional. Okay, slow down here, because now we're talking about things that are imaginary or, pretty unlikely at the moment. This is the language of dreams and giving advice. If I won the lottery, I would travel the world. Now, I probably won't win, but it's fun to explore that hypothetical future, right? And finally, the red light, the third conditional. Full stop. This is all about the past. It's like a time machine that lets us look back at things we can no longer change, and yeah, it's often the grammar we use for regrets. If I had studied harder, I would have passed. The reality? I didn't study that hard, so I didn't pass. That door is closed. Okay, this table right here, this is your cheat sheet. Seriously, just look at how, as you go down from first to third, the time frame shifts from the future all the way to the past. And this column over here, reality, shifts from totally possible to completely impossible. This is a great slide to pause on, maybe even screenshot for a quick reference later. So how do you actually choose the right one when you're talking? It's pretty simple, really. Just ask yourself, is this a real possibility in the future? Boom, use the first. Is it an imaginary situation right now? Go for the second. Or are you talking about something in the past you wish you could change? That's the third. That's your whole decision tree right there.
So we've handled the what-ifs, now let's get into the what happens. For our second tool, the time machine, it's all about getting your timeline straight so that when you tell stories about the past, they make perfect sense.
And the rule is actually pretty simple. When you've got two past events in the same story, you use the past perfect. That's the one with had, for the action that happened first. Think of it like the past of the past. Then the action that happened later just uses the good old simple past.
And wow, this distinction is so important. Just look at the difference in meaning here. If you say, when I arrived, everyone left, it sounds like they saw you come in and all ran for the door. But if you say, when I arrived, everyone had left, it just means you got there too late. The party was already over. See? One tiny word changes the entire story.
Now, here are a few quick tips to keep in mind. First off, don't overuse this. If you're just talking about a single event in the past, like, I went to London last year, simple past is your friend. Second, please don't forget the word had. And finally, you only really need to pull out this tool when the order of events is super important to the story you're telling.
Okay, so we've got the tools to structure our stories with possibilities and in the right timeline. But every story needs a setting, right? Our final tool, the World Builder, is all about giving you the vocabulary to paint a really vivid picture of the places where your stories happen.
Let's start with a really useful verb, renovate. So what does it mean? Well, it's all about repairing and improving a building, basically bringing an old place back to life and making it good again. And here it is in action. You can just picture it, can't you? An old, maybe forgotten building getting transformed into something new and valuable for the entire community. That's what it means to renovate.
Words have this incredible power to paint a picture. Is the park in your city vibrant and welcoming, or is it maybe neglected and a bit run down? Using precise words like these immediately tells your listener exactly what kind of place you're talking about. No questions asked.
So let's add just a few more words to your toolkit.
When you're talking about the physical features, you could say a pedestrian zone or a public plaza. And for the things people do there, you can use great verbs like to gather, to participate, or to volunteer. And just like that, you've equipped your grammar toolkit. How cool is that? You've got the possibility engine for all your what-ifs, the time machine to explain what happened and when, and the world builder to set the perfect scene.
So what's the big takeaway here? It really all comes down to two simple questions. For your what-ifs, you just have to ask, is this situation real or is it imaginary? And for the what happens, you just ask, which of these actions came first? If you can answer those, you've pretty much cracked the code.
Let's end on one last thought here. If you had known all this a year ago, how would your English be different right now? You know, that question itself uses a mix of these tools we just talked about, imagining a different past that affects the present. So think about that, and think about all the new possibilities you've just unlocked for yourself.